This is SmilesTV.
Thanks for tuning in to Smiles Television Talk Show. This is part 2 of our episode with Olympic athletes from right here in East St. Louis.
That boy is talking about boxing?
Was a member of the 1988 U.S. Olympic boxing team. Please welcome tonight's challenger, introducing Arthur Flash Johnson.
Whether you were boxing or not, you had to be able to fight to survive, whether it's from a physical point or an emotional standpoint, poverty, if you will. So you have to be able to fight. If you don't like boxing, guess what? You're gonna fight. Boxing taught me a lot of things.
If you stay determined, if you stay disciplined, there is nothing that you can't accomplish. That's what I believe. That's what I live by. That's the attitude that caused me and helped me to accomplish what I accomplished.
Welcome back to the second half of Smiles Television Talk Show. And like I told you in the beginning, we have a gentleman here, Arthur Johnson. And as a matter of fact, I think they used to call him Arthur Flash Johnson. And Arthur Johnson is a Goodwill Games Gold Medalist, and he's also an Olympian. Come on and welcome Arthur Johnson. Arthur, thank you for coming to Smiles Television Talk Show. It's a blessing to see you again.
It's my pleasure, absolutely.
You know, I told you when we were meeting, when we first met again today, that you have not changed. You still look like a kid.
Well, thank you very much.
You do, and I see you didn't get beat up on too much.
Well, I was fortunate, I was blessed to have been able to do what I did as an athlete and then walk away from it with a sound mind.
Wow.
That's
and you know what, we might talk about that, having a sound mind after boxing, because I guess that can be something with which to deal. But Arthur, just for the sake of our audience, those of you who may not be familiar, if you will, give a little background on your history from East St. Louis, Illinois. What was it like growing up before becoming a boxer or before becoming a professional boxer?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I really love about the career is being from East St. Louis. It's a great place to be from because there's so many champions that's come from this place. Well, I grew up, I was born living on Missouri Avenue. You're familiar with Missouri Avenue? And from there, let me shorten the story just a little bit. I primarily grew up in the John Robinson Projects, which was right across the street from Lincoln Senior High School. And one of the things that happened earlier in life is I always dreamed of being a boxer. I just think that was the purpose and destiny for me was to become a boxer. When I first saw it on TV, and maybe I perhaps remember seeing Muhammad Ali or something of that nature, maybe the Rocky movies. But I think as I look back, I believe it was more like Muhammad Ali boxing on television, which what really encouraged me to move forward in boxing, and I started in 1978. There was a gentleman by the name of Ben Stiff and James Hook. They were starting a boxing club, and I wanted to get involved, and so I got involved, and one of the things that happened was I took the permission slip, because you had to sign a permission slip, and I signed it myself. My mother never saw it, and there goes the career.
Oh, wow. So do you have brothers and sisters?
I do.
And how many?
I have 8 now. It's 8 of us now living. It was 10 of us, 5 boys, 5 girls. I have, as I just forestated, 8 of us living. There's 3, actually 4 boys now living, and no, I should say that back. It's 4 boys. Of all the boys are still living, had 2 sisters to pass. One passed before I was born, and then the other passed about 11 years ago.
You know, you mentioned about how many great athletes are from this area, and that is true. And per capita, I would have to think that it's simply a miracle the way things turn out. What do you attribute that to? The greatness that is built in our community?
I think it begins with a simple thing of the character builder, what a person experiences in life, and how certain situations that are put in front of them, how they are looked at. You can easily become the victim of a situation, or you become the victor.
That's right.
So I think it's a character molding type of place. I remember growing up and having my neighbor to be able to correct me and things of that nature. Of course, we don't see a lot of that these days, but that's one of the things as a character builder, as you move on, as you move forward in life, and you appreciate those things when you look back on them, because those were the things that helped to mold you to be the person that you turn out to be.
You know, I'm interested in knowing, what do you think makes a good fighter?
I think having agility, having quickness, having reflexes, having the ability to be able to elude certain situations, being able to reaction. I think that's what makes a great fighter.
Okay.
To be able to think and make adjustments, quick adjustments, because you have to do it on a dime.
Wow.
And I think that's what make you the athlete that you turned out to be, how quick you're able to respond to those type of things.
We're sitting here with some of your hardware.
Okay.
And we'll talk about this. If you will, kind of tell our audience what we're looking at.
Sure. Well, you're looking at here the NABF. It is one of the longest reigning lineages in boxing history. It's called the North American Championship. And North American Championship is like being world champion. It's because it's the longest lineage reigning title. It doesn't get the prestige as a world title should, but in my estimation, it is definitely one of the highest ranking titles you could ever win. The other one is the National Boxing Association, and the National Boxing Association was the very first organization that was established in boxing.
Okay.
From a world tournament, not a world tournament, but a world class perspective. You could go intercontinental, or you could go world championship, and this was the world championship that the National Boxing Association developed. Everything winged off of the NBA, the National Boxing Association. A lot of people don't know that, but the WBA winged off of it, the WBC, and on and on and on and on. So it's the two longest lineage boxing titles in the history of boxing, and so to have been a part of something like that, I'm very thankful.
You know what, we're going to come back and talk more about your boxing, but I understand you also sing, and you have you've done so many things. You have a book, also called Trials to Triumph, and you have a DVD. So this guy does everything. But we're going to take a very short break just so you can get a taste of his music. Listen up.
I was close to giving up when I couldn't see hope at all. My heart began to fail, 'cause faith was gone. But soon I realized the miracles in me. Despite of past defeats, I won't be. Yeah, I can't hold on, I must be strong. There's no time for giving up. I can't hold on, I must be strong. For the greatest moment, for the greatest moment, for the greatest moment, for the greatest moment.
If you're tired of wandering in the wilderness of obesity, God is ready to usher you into the promised land of healthy and fit for life. Eating as an Active Worship Ministries is a nonprofit organization dedicated to teaching the biblical principles for maintaining a healthy body for the glory of God. Join our free 12-week health and fitness course for both adults and children in person or online via Periscope. No registration fees or membership fees, just the purchase of the Eating as an Act of Worship workbook. So sign up today. To register, visit our website at www.eatingasanactofworshipministries.org and tune in to the Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries radio show Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time on Studio W Buzz.
Pain is something we all have to live with. Aching joints, arthritis, flare-ups from injuries that we long forgot. We each deal with pain in our own way until it becomes debilitating and we need real help. Even worse are the medications with opioids, steroids, and chemical ingredients we can't even pronounce or don't even know where they come from. Do we really want to put these potentially lethal drugs into or on our bodies? Did you know that even taking simple over-the-counter medicines for pain can have dangerous side effects when mixed with certain foods or other prescriptions? It's time to leave the harmful drugs behind and use No More Pain Herbal Blend. This blend of essential oils is 100% drug and chemical free. Massage into any joint or muscle for immediate pain relief. Don't believe it? Try it for yourself. Try it free for 30 days, and if you feel it doesn't work, simply return it. If it works for you, keep it and pay just $29.99. It's simple and painless. Take the 30-day challenge and get back to being you. Call today, 650-278-4428. That's 650-278-4428, or visit us on the web at beyondbeautiful.club. That's www.beyondbeautiful.club. Join the club and get back to being you.
I need this one, that one. I need her right there, her right there. Nowadays I got options.
That it's in your face. Hip hop, hooray. Hip hop all day. There is no pit stops. I'm on my way. Beautiful art, I mold them tracks like clay. House party kid, my time is not for play. I am making it, no faking it. I love my life, there is no replacing it. Still broke my dog, but I can taste the rich.
You were just listening to Arthur Anthony Johnson. And you know, I just joked with him because my maiden name is Anthony, and it must be great. And it's just such smooth music, Arthur. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you, thank you. And about that Anthony deal, now that's my middle name. And I had a friend that say to me, everybody knows you by Arthur Flash, so we got to do something different for the music. Why don't we just call you Arthur Anthony?
Wow.
And it's stuck.
And that's the best name you could come up with, so Arthur. So, you know, check out his music as well. But also I want to get back real quickly to the boxing. Tell us about the Goodwill Games and explain, if you will, exactly what are the Goodwill Games, the place in which you won your gold medal.
The Goodwill Games was used to really bring peace and harmony between the United States and Russia.
Wow.
And a bunch of other countries were invited to this tournament. And so it was Olympic style competition. Olympic style boxing, the event was. And there was, as I forestated, several different countries there. I think maybe 100 or so countries that participated in the Goodwill Games, and I was the only non-Soviet to win gold in the inaugural Goodwill Games.
And then after the Goodwill Games, you went on to the Olympics.
Went on to
and
the
it's a very unique story because, you know, you are our gold medalist in the Olympics, whether or not you actually got it or not. But tell us quickly about your bouts with the Olympics.
Well, I had a couple of bouts. One was a preliminary bout, and the other one was I advanced to the quarterfinals. I had 2 victories in the games, and then we faced against the North Korean, and we lost a very controversial decision, a decision in which many to this day still think I won, and of course I still think I won. You know, but in any event, it was a great fight, and of course that guy went on, as I pointed out, to win the gold medal.
Wow.
And it was a controversial decision. If anyone remembers the Seoul Olympics when they had the sit-in, when they had the confusion to arouse in the games because of a decision that the Koreans lost, which was before the bout that I had, and that really caused a lot of issues. I was told after the games that the Koreans would be suspended from the following Olympics. Of course, now that doesn't give me my medal that I
understand,
earned, but they did suspend them because of the things that took place in the '88 games, and of course, anyone can look that up and really kind of go back and see about the confusion.
Did you knock many people out?
I did. Over half of my wins were victories of knockout.
How do you feel when you knock somebody out? They're on the floor and cold. Don't they almost look like they're dead?
Well, here's the thing that you think about. When you think about that, it's like a wrestling match. That guy's going to either overcome you or you're going to overcome that guy. And nobody wants to permanently hurt anybody in there. You just want to
knock him out.
Put him out temporarily. He wakes up, everything's okay. But really, at the high level of this thing, there's not very many knockouts that happen.
Okay, and you are doing so many things in the community. You're starting a foundation.
Yes.
And so are there any Arthur Johnson proteges? You train anybody to come up behind you? And what are you doing with that foundation?
Oh my goodness, we're doing a lot with the kids in the community. We've developed 2 amateur world champions recently, and that was 3.5 years, should I say, of work, of just taking them through the technical aspect, bringing them to the level of being able to compete at different levels, and ultimately the world-class level. And we developed 2 champions, 2 brothers that lived in Washington Park. What we're doing now, we're still developing champions. This is kind of the motto that we've adopted, and that is making champions, champions of tomorrow. In addition to the after-school programs that we do and the life skills. So that is something that is really passionate to me. I'm really passionate about that. My wife, LaTanya, is also passionate about it.
We didn't talk about your
family. Yeah, she's also passionate about it. And we see the difference that it makes in the lives of these kids today. It's a huge difference to know that they take from it that there is a purpose, there is a destiny for my life, there is something for me to do, and hopefully someday they'll pay it forward.
Arthur, we didn't talk much about your wife and children, so how many children do you have?
3 kids, 2 girls, 1 boy. One's Lakeisha, the other one's Rita, and then there's Arthur Jr., and they're all in their respective fields. The oldest is in the medical field. The second, the middle kid, is in the Assistant State's Attorney of Illinois. And of course, Arthur Jr. is living out in California. He's a big-time musician.
Right, we need to get the whole family on SmilesTV.
Of course, I should say something about my wife. I better say something about my wife.
You better say something about your wife.
She works in the administrative department with the economist of the world.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of times where her brain
So
is
just greatness all within the family. I'm looking at this book here called, again, Trials to Triumph, The Untold Story.
The Untold Story.
Now, you know what? You're sitting here, we're talking about everything else, but I happen to start thumbing through it, and guys, he has quotes on here from Angelo Dundee, Evander Holyfield. This guy's been all over. He has music, he boxes, from Trials to Triumph. And you know, our time is running out, but tell us quickly what's in the book.
Well, Trials to Triumph is basically my story, the rise from where I came from, poverty, to ring, being the champion on 4 different occasions as it ends. And some other things in there that you really want to get the book to read, because it really lets you know about, I was given 2 to 3 months to live. God pulls me through it, and it's just an awesome story.
Okay, from Trials to Triumph, Arthur Anthony Flash Johnson. We got all of his names in there. So be sure to take time and get this book, From Trials to Triumph, from our own East St. Louisan gold medal Goodwill winner and an Olympian as well, Arthur Johnson.
Thank you.
You know, we're at the Jackie Joyner Center, and you have a competition that you do right here at the center. Tell us about that before we
do
go.
an annual tournament called the Arthur Johnson Boxing Invitational. It'll be happening this year, June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Boxers from around the country will come in and display their talent, their abilities, and we look forward to having them here this year. We're awesomely excited about it, and I'm just excited to be a part of giving back to the community, because that's really where it's all is.
June 8th, 9th, and 10th.
June 8th, 9th, and 10th.
And the name of it again is?
It's called the Arthur Johnson Boxing Invitational. And while we're on that boxing deal, there's a film called Greatest Comeback: The Untold Story. You can get that from Amazon. You can download it. It's called Greatest Comeback: The Untold Story. It's also it's a DVD, and it's the Arthur Flash Johnson story, and it's an amazing story that we were fortunate to be able to come through and to be able to share that inspiration with other people and give them that encouragement that no matter whatever they're facing in life, that there is, at the end of the ring, at the end of the road, a rainbow that shines through, and I thank God for that. I really do. I'm blessed to be able to share this, and so that's the hope, that when they read the book or they look at this DVD film, that they're encouraged and that they are inspired, and that, hey, if God did it for me, He'll do it for you.
That's right. You know what? When you're looking at these belts here, and he may look like a small man. When you fought, you were what weight?
I was 112. That was the first initial weight where I got a lot of attention at. Actually, let me go back. It was 106 at that time, so it would have been light flyweight, bantamweight, and junior bantam is where I ended.
You might think he's small, but you don't want to mess with Arthur Flash Johnson, but you do want to get his DVD, The Greatest Comeback, The Untold Story, all about Arthur Johnson, as well as From Trials to Triumph, his book that tells the story. And you know, you heard that music earlier, and he also has a CD out called Arthur Anthony, The Greatest Moments. You know, all from East St. Louis, Illinois. We have it all right here.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Arthur, for being a guest on Smiles Television Talk Show.
My pleasure.
And you know what? He's a minister too, and we have him on tape. Will you come back to Smiles?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You heard it. Okay, thank you for tuning in to Smiles Television Talk Show. I love you, we love you, and we want to thank our guest, Jackie Joyner, the greatest female athlete in the world, and Arthur Flash Johnson. Keep smiling. You look better when you smile, and remember, only what you do for Christ will last.
what they want. And then there's those that do what they want, so they'll do what they have to.
It's opposite for so long, you reach and you question why have you forsaken me? But then
best show of all time today. And you know why? Because we have the world's greatest female athlete, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, and then right here from East St. Louis, Illinois.
Boy, DJ Nothing Nice introducing Junior Boy off of that non-stop grind record with his hit single, Oh, Oh, Oh. You already know DJ's on the man, his family, man. It's your boy DJ Nothing Nice. Let's go.
Project Outreach is a training and development 501c3 organization that specifically works with veterans, aging out youth, and justice-involved individuals. The program reduces homelessness, recidivism, and crime by
Baby, it's a good thing that you bad. Your ex took you for granted, all boo-hoo-hoo, that's too sad. Sight, he just made a way for
On a fresh start, I want a fresh start. So creep.
Had my heart broke so many times. Trust some peoples and they crossed the line.
I'm Al McFarland. Welcome to the front room sessions at the Marcus Garvey House. Glad to be here. One more of our